The third edition of one of the most popular gravel races in the country, the King Price Race to the Sea, took place recently. The route is a classic, taking riders from Franschhoek over the pass and into the Overberg, and finishing 160 kilometres later at Benguela Cove.
Wonderful, cloudy morning but no rain mercifully. It's magnificent Western Cape town of Franschhoek, the home of the Huguenots. But behind us, a great many riders all lined up to start this 100-mile gravel event, which starts in Franschhoek and finishes in Hermanus. Matt Beers, the hotties in the men's race. Cherise Williot looks like the women's favourite. 100 miles to travel over Franschhoek past King and Queen of the Mountains and then on to the sea. Enjoy the action with us.
There was tense excitement on the start line. The elite men's field was loaded with potential winners. South African gravel champion Matt Beers was the men's favourite to win a third time, but he was up against a number of fast men as they began the climb up the historic Franschhoek Pass, the oldest engineered road in South Africa, dating back to 1825. The early ramps served to split the group. Rogan Smart and Francoff and Sale were dropped. First tarred in 1963, the pass is 7 k's to the top from the Franschhoek side and accounts for just under 400 metres of climbing. And it offers a spectacular view down the valley towards Paarl and Siemensberg Mountain on the left. The lead group had Kent Main, Jaco Venter, Beers and Alex Miller. Beers had recently defended his gravel title in Karkloof. Namibian Miller is a hugely talented mountain biker. TEG's Brandon Downs tried to make the race hard. After the last hairpin, it is all in for the King of the Mountains. Miller showed his hand early, and the Pyga Eurosteel rider on board his steel-framed Onguza gravel bike held on to collect a bonus prize, crossing the line a few seconds ahead of DMS rider Kent Main. For the next 8 kilometres, it was pretty much free riding as they maximised the aero effect and plunged down the pass. The long section of tar was a good place to take on nutrition, for it was going to be a long tough day in the saddle. The road flattens out at the base, and the 10 k's to the bridge is a tough drag. And the leading quartet now, Beers, Venter, Main and Miller, work together to keep the tempo high and stay clear of the chasers. Beers' legendary flat road power was aided by a massive 52 C6 front chainring on his Specialized Diverge STR. The huge Theovatuskloof Dam was almost 100% full thanks to plentiful winter rains in the region. Across the bridge they continued to work together, Miller and then Main taking turns on the front. Back in Franschhoek, the elite ladies had their own start time, and it was a big collection of roadies, gravel racers and mountain bikers, all keen to test themselves against one another and the 160 kilometres and a daunting 2,300 metres of climbing. So, what were their expectations?
My expectations for the day is going to be a long ride, a hard ride, but also a fun ride. We're going to ride through some beautiful sceneries, which I'm really looking forward to. It's my first gravel race in a very long time. My last one was a few years back doing the Race to the Sun actually, so not much experience, but it's fine. I think still it's going to be a good one today.
Yeah, a little bit nervous. I think I've done enough gravel racing to know that you get every gravel race is actually a character building experience. And you get to the end and you're not quite sure how you got there or what actually happened through the race. So yeah, I'm nervous. I know it's going to be a tough day, it's going to be a long day out there, but at the same time looking forward to spending some time on the bike.
The batch contained a fascinating mix of riders, elite pros and semi-pros, sub-vets, vets and powerful masters. Halfway up the pass, the lead group was thinned down to 6 riders. Tess Keers, one of the aforementioned super strong vets. Tyler Setscorn from Hermanus was on her own, and all smiles. And up front, the national champion Cherise Williot and Danielle Stradum were fighting it out for the Queen of the Mountains bonus. It was close, until it wasn't, as Stradum found an extra gear and powered away from Williot to take the cash bonus prize as Queen of the Mountain. While the Mbuko Type F giant rider may have had the advantage on the climbing, on the descent it was a different matter altogether, as well as its bigger gearing on her gravel-specific bike gave the Sandton City Cycle Nation rider the edge as she turned over the huge gear to surge away from Strydom. Tess Kears, Setskorn and Ashley Parsons worked together in the chase group on the flats to the bridge, while Willate had gambled early and was laying down the power up front. One of the most decorated riders in the country, Cherise has national titles across 3 disciplines, currently riding in the National Gravel Champions jersey. Strydom was looking for company as she hung between the leaders and the chasers. And it wasn't long before she had the willing trio to help her make the pull to the gravel turnoff a little easier. The King Price Race to the Sea has fast become one of the must-do events on the Western Cape calendar. On mountain bikes or gravel bikes, the turnout among the amateurs was incredible. 160 kilometres is a big ask, and some were there to enjoy the journey, others to race their legs off, but all were wisely respectful of the challenge they were taking on.
A little bit of anticipation. It's a lot of climbing, fast start up the pass. We'll see what happens. We got the guys from Joburg, the RAF buddies, are going to make it interesting, tough, hard.
Besides the cold at the moment, no, we are excited. I think it's the 3rd year that we're riding this race. It's the most beautiful course. Everyone in the world must come and ride it. It's so fantastic. And yeah, we're just hoping for a nice clean run, no incidents with a bike or tires and so on. And hopefully we get to the end and we can enjoy a beer.
And surely that is the essence of cycling. A good hard ride in a stunning geographical area and a tasty reward with your friends and rivals at the finish. Many riders have made the trip from upcountry to take on the race, and it's not difficult to understand why. The exceptional beauty of the Franschhoek Pass is worth the journey alone. The first 21 kilometres of the race is on good tar roads, which gave them a chance to look around and take in the mountains and valley views while riding in safe and secure environments. The Western Cape weather was doing its best not to spoil the party. A slight drizzle on the pass soon cleared, the low cloud adding to the visual feast over the ocean-like Theewaterskloof waters. The first section of gravel was the Van der Stel Pass that led the riders towards the first water point near Botterfield.
Incredible, absolutely amazing. We're waiting for the canolas to come out. Nice little up out of Franschhoek, but nothing to worry about. And then it's been incredible. It's almost like tar road here, so good to get the gravel bikes out and having a good time, awesome time. And the water stations are incredible. Boys are still, we're trying to save the legs for later, but we're all good. All good.
It's awesome and beautiful, and after coming past the rain up the pass, weather's been great, so really enjoying it.
Daniel van Hengel would spend 8 3/4 hours on his bike, and powerful Grandmaster Richard Bartholomew 8.5 hours. It was a blissful way for bike riders to spend the day. Quiet farm roads, good weather and lush green farmlands and landscapes. In the elite men's race, the halfway mark was near. Miller, Venter, Main and Beers were flying. Main, in the purple jersey of David Maria's road team DMS, is a man who knows a thing or two about setting a red-hot pace. Jaco Venter is a former national road champion and a veteran of 7 Grand Tours during his time with Dimension Data. They were serious threats to the off-road men Miller and Beers. In the women's race, Danielle Strydom was still with Tess Kears, Tyler Setskorn and Ashley Parsons as they set about trying to reel in leader Cherise Willate. Cherise, though, was cruising along the railway tracks ahead. Wolverkraal Farm, the halfway mark, is just off the N2 midway between Botterfield and Caledon. And the leading men had taken just 2 hours and 12 minutes to cover the nearly 80 kilometres. Main and Beers were first out. How did they avoid the temptation of stopping for this delectable fare at the water table? South African champion Cherise Willate went through in 2 hours and 48 minutes. She built a solid advantage over the rest of the elite women. The racing vets were between them.
All the big names left at 7 o'clock from the Huguenot Monument in Franschhoek earlier today. Now 10 o'clock in the day, and we've got the half distance, or 50 miles, 80 kilometers of gravel travel all the way from near Caledonia down to the sea. It's a tailwind favors the riders. Conditions look pretty good. No rain, beautiful cloudy, cool conditions. It's going to be a humdinger because the wind is going to help these 75 riders all the way down to the sea.
Yes, there was a half-distance race for those not yet ready to tackle the big one. Dirk van Wateren mustered a smile. Stu Tanner and Shea Ingledew were hard at it. John Anderson and Rene Dietrichs having a blast. Gravel bike or mountain bike, it didn't matter. All that matters is that they were out there enjoying South Africa and the Western Cape in particular at its very best. The huge wind turbines were a sign that Caledon was nearing. The 350-hectare Clipperville wind farm supplies 86,000 megawatts of power a year to the grid, meeting the needs of 19,000 people in the area. Speaking of power, Kent Mayne and Matt Beers were dishing out the watts as they slugged it out at the front of the race. They were now riding into a slight headwind, which kept them from opening up too much of a gap to Jaco Venter and Alex Miller. Mayne has a mountain stage win on the 2022 Tour of Rwanda to his name. He's also won the tough Cullinan to Tonteldoos, so Beers was well aware of the DMS rider's strength as they worked together to stay away from Miller. The Namibian was looking good on his homegrown Onguza, and Toyota Specialized Beers was on his own. The big man had got away from Mayne and was steadily growing the gap to his erstwhile companion, who was beginning to suffer as he tried desperately to limit the damage. The dramatic Overberg landscapes belie the severity of the hills in the area. They're long, straight and steep. Thankfully this time round fairly smooth. They drain the legs of strength, particularly when the wind is slightly into your head. Mayne was now in survival mode. His victory hopes gone. He was trying to hold on to second place. Alex Miller was firing and closing the gap with every pedal stroke. Miller was chasing Beers now. As his team sponsors Paiga didn't have a gravel bike, Miller loaned one from former Namibian champion Dan Craven, who makes the Onguza bikes, on his family farm in Omaruru. Since winning the Absa Cape Epic in March, Beers has focused on the lucrative Lifetime Grand Prix Gravel Series in the United States, where his 6th place standing at the moment sees him in line for a huge payday. Beers' Specialized Diverge had a 3cm offset to accommodate the huge 52th C6 front chainring. His power meter was doubtless showing impressive numbers as he closed in on the finish. A year ago he won the national title on this race, and he did so again this year in Carkloof. Matt Beers was about to make it a hat-trick of wins at Benguela Cove as he powered across the dam wall. A phenomenal ride by a man of the times, able to adapt to conditions and different disciplines with relative ease like so many of the best in the world.
Matthew Beers, congratulations. 3 wins here at the King Price Race to the Sea. Always good to get across the finish line. How was it for you today?
Yeah, obviously this year we had a smallish group, but like really strong riders. Yeah, I just taken off for a week, 2 weeks ago, so I didn't know how the form was, but rode a bit smarter than I normally do, which helped. And then, yeah, it's always a super hard route, beautiful route, but yeah, the roads are spectacular at the moment with all the rain. It's like pretty much like a tar road, so had fun out there.
Beers celebrated the win in 4 hours and 48 minutes.
Yeah, obviously after managing to take the Race of the Sun earlier in the year title, I've obviously put high expectations on myself, and yeah, a bit disappointed to not live up to my expectations, but nevertheless Matt is he's such a beast on the bike, and yeah, you could see he was on form today, but still happy to come away with second. I was on it and then I wasn't, so I think 70 k's to go, the lights went out, and the caliber of Matt and Alex is obviously very, very high, so I got humbled nicely today, but it's nice. It's the level of racing off-road is definitely higher than the road racing in the country. So it's a nice challenge, and I'm really glad that I came out here and happy with third actually.
A world-class top three on the podium of the King Price Race to the Sea. Beers was the only sub-5 hour finisher. His margin of victory was an impressive 13 minutes over Miller. Main was a further 14 minutes back in third. Franco van Zyl won the race for fourth, ahead of Dan Loubser and Brandon Downs, but it was close, just 11 seconds between the three. The canola blossoms were out in all their glory as the leading woman, Charisse Willate, continued to maximise her advantage through the Kliphevel wind farm. Without any support, she was unsure of what her lead was, so used every opportunity to push hard. Danielle Straydom was again on her own, having attacked. She was in second, but mindful of the wind and how much harder it was without someone to share the load with, she would do well to find a partner. Not far behind her were Tess Kears and Tyler Setskorn. A place on the podium was the potential prize for this pair. They were giving it their all. Willate was all composure and power. On Calvados Road, Setskorn caught Straydom, and now she was in the hunt for second. But not for the first time in the race. Straydom's superior climbing saw her escape the clutches of her rival. In the drops, Charisse was heading for victory at beautiful Benguela Cove. She had attacked on the first descent of the race on Franschhoek Pass, and since then hadn't looked back. She was never in danger of being caught. A broad smile from the Sandton City Cycle Nation rider as she crossed the line to be greeted by her son.
Absolutely shattered. I think that was honestly the hardest day I've had on a bike. It was tough. Beautiful route, like best gravel race I've done, but just so brutal. I think about halfway I was ready to finish, and then I saw the halfway sun and I was like, oi, this is gonna hurt today. I had to dig so deep just to finish, and just a massive congratulations to all the finishers today. It's a tough day out there, and if you've made it, you can be so proud of yourself.
Danielle Straydom produced her best result in a big gravel race, and rolling home in second place.
It was a very big day, a lot harder than I thought. I was a little ballsy and I tried to make a few breakaways. Got it right, but no, they caught me again, and it was quite hard today for me, but I loved it. I think it was one of the most scenic races I've ever done as well.
And a fine ride by local rider Tyler Setskorn, earning her third.
We started like very chilled on Franschhoek Pass, and I actually lost them for a while, but I absolutely loved descending, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch up to them on the downhills, and I managed to, and I'm glad I just stuck with them. So yeah, luckily I did.
Congratulations to the top three in the women's race, Charisse Willate, flanked by Danielle Straydom and Tyler Setskorn. 6 hours and 18 minutes was Charisse's winning time. Just 3.5 minutes behind her was Danielle Straydom and Mbuko Taipdev. A gutsy ride by Tyler saw her finish just over 5 minutes behind Straydom. Tess Kears was the first Fairtomer, second behind Setskorn. Michaela Surtees was fifth and the last of the women to finish in under 7 hours to earn that gold medal. Congratulations to all 78 women who completed the tough 100-miler. Meanwhile, the bulk of the field was still out there enjoying a wonderful day's riding. The 6 superbly stocked water points along the route provided a broad range of healthy food and drink to ensure the riders finished strongly.
Fantastic. First time doing such a long ride, but very well organized. Road markations are perfect, and just hope the legs can keep up.
I'm loving it. Views are beautiful, amazing going through the wind farm. Yeah, feeling strong.
Yeah, it's been good, eh? I think the wind is going to punish us on the way back, but for now it's been good.
Much better than I ever expected. Absolutely beautiful out there, and conditions are really lacquer as well, quite cool. Nice group, got 4 guys, so you're cruising along quite nice.
And the strawberries are still unbelievable. Thank you.
The King Price Race to the Sea and its upcountry brother, the King Price Race to the Sun, are the ideal meeting points for 3 very popular disciplines. Roadies are not intimidated by technical riding, yet there is just enough rough and tough stuff to keep the mountain bikers happy. And the gravel men and women, well, they are smiling all the way. There was also a relay option with a changeover point at the halfway mark and an e-bike race, so there really was something for everyone. Whether it was the 100-miler or the 50-miler, on a mountain bike, an e-bike or a gravel bike.
It's going good. I'm still alive, my legs are still moving. It's been tough into the wind now, yo. I'm feeling it. But not too much further.
It's wonderful, but the wind was tough.
It's been tough, but unbelievably beautiful scenery. I think I'm fortunate to be riding in a relay.
The King Price Race to the Sea delivered a day to remember for all the participants. It's surely the best way to experience one of the most beautiful regions in the country. It's certainly not an easy ride, but then again, nothing this good should come too easily. The amount of effort put into training and racing was rewarded in a special way with special finishers medals. Gold for sub 6 hours, silver for sub 7, bronze for sub 8 hours, and a black medal for the riders who finished in more than 8 hours. The vibe and energy created around the race, both on the road and off the bike, should be packaged and fed into the power grid. This was a day to energize the country. It was another superbly run event from Faces Advendurance.
Perfect conditions, yes, perfect scenery. It was a long day on the saddle, about 7.5 hours, every minute with the while. It got hard after 120 k's, but yes, what a lacquer ride, what a lacquer experience, what a lacquer event. Thank you, King Price.
Ride was amazing, the views was absolutely stunning, and yeah, it was excellent. The organising was just great, all the stops was perfect, and yeah, the markings was on spot, so yeah, I truly enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Probably the best route I've ever done, honestly. If I could go do it next week again, I would. Maybe not now, maybe in like an hour's time I'll say it, but yeah, it was super fun.
The hills, the climbing, the wind, everything, but the scenery, it feels I was in heaven, and I will remember it the rest of my life.
Yeah, we're happy to be back for the 3rd consecutive Race to the Sea race. The first 2 years we had a bit of problems with rockfalls at Franschhoek Pass and COVID. Yeah, we were very happy to hold the 3rd one in a row, and we had the same winner 3 years in a row for Matt Pierce, and what a legend and what an ambassador for the sport. I just want to thank all the partners involved, your Specialized, King Price, Ford, for this amazing day. We started off in Franschhoek, lovely morning, a bit chilly and overcast as you can see, but the wind was in our favour, a backwind for the majority of the race, and we ended up here at the beautiful Benguela Cove Estate. I want to thank Spenny and Nick, the owners of this estate, for hosting us. I mean, they've done so much for us, and we're so glad to be back.
And another Race to the Sea under the belt, and you know, driving this route, I was just again marveled at the beauty that we presented with on this route. The canola fields, the different shades of sun from Franschhoek over the pass, and yeah, all the way to Benguela Cove near Hermanus. It really is a distinguished course, a route that definitely has no comparison. And it shows. You can see the number of Gautengers that have flown down to come race this race. It really pleases us all at Faces. We're proud of this race, and we're proud of the participants.
What a day it's been. Thank you so much for joining us at the 2023 King Price Race to the Sea. What can only be described as an amazing day. Massive congratulations to our two national champions in the gravel discipline, of course, Matthew Beers from Toyota Specialized and Charisse Phillip. What an amazing race for both of them. We look forward to seeing you all again next year. Congratulations to all the riders taking on these adverse conditions. It's been truly magical to see you all come across the finish line, and we cannot wait to see you again in 2024. Cheers.